Welcome to Echoes of Time, a journey into the forgotten worlds and the secrets they left behind.
Imagine this. It's a dark night back in 1980. A steel fortress, a ship so absolutely colossal it actually dwarfed the Titanic, is out in the Pacific Ocean battling a typhoon. And then, poof, it was just gone. No mayday call, no wreckage, not a single survivor. For 20 long years, the official story was simple. The sea just took it. But the real truth? Well, that was hidden much, much deeper. So, to really wrap your head around the scale of what we're talking about, let's put it into perspective. We all know the Titanic, right? It was a legend, a symbol of size and power. But the MV Derby ship? It wasn't just a little bigger. Get this, it was almost twice the weight. This thing was one of the largest ships ever built in Britain, a true titan of the sea. And that's the big question, isn't it? The one that haunted families and investigators for decades. How does something that immense, that powerful, a ship literally designed to take on the most violent seas in the world, just disappear from the face of the planet? Okay, so let's paint the picture. It's September 9th, 1980. The Derbyshire is almost at the end of a long journey from Canada. She's loaded down with 157,000 tons of iron ore, and there's a crew of 42 seasoned sailors on board. But there's a big problem. Directly in its path, a storm is brewing. And it's not just any storm. It's Typhoon Orchid, a monster that's getting stronger by the hour.
But here's the thing you have to understand. On board, there was no sense of panic. The captain, Geoffrey Underhill, had 20 years of experience. He'd seen storms like this before. And this ship, it was a state-of-the-art OBO carrier, a new kind of ship that could carry oil or bulk ore, and it was considered pretty much indestructible. So for him, Typhoon Orchid was just another day at the office. He sent a routine message with his position and just kept steaming ahead. It was the last anyone ever heard from them.
So when the ship never showed up in Japan, a massive international search was launched. For 6 straight days, planes and ships scoured the area around its last known coordinates. And they found nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. Not a single life raft, not one life jacket, not even a splinter of debris. And just like that, the search was over. And the official verdict? Man, it came fast. The case was closed without any kind of formal investigation. It was just chalked up as an act of God, lost to the perils of the sea. But for the families of those 42 crew members, this just didn't sit right. It felt way too neat, way too simple. They had this terrible feeling that the truth was being deliberately buried right along with their loved ones. And this is where the story takes a huge turn. One man, a guy named Peter Rizyard, who lost his son on the Derbyshire, just refused to let it go. And see, Peter wasn't just any grieving father. The man was an expert ship surveyor. He had spent his entire life analyzing ships. This was his world, and he decided he was going to launch his own investigation. And what Peter started to uncover was, well, it was deeply disturbing. He found that the Derbyshire wasn't unique. Its sister ships, built in the same yard, were developing these dangerous cracks in the exact same spot. And worse, the builders were secretly recalling them for repairs. And when he dug even deeper, he found the smoking gun. Because of pressure to cut costs, these ships hadn't been built according to their original approved designs. This wasn't just a tragedy. It was starting to look like a cover-up. So when you look at this timeline, what you're seeing is just an incredible story of pure grit. For 14 long years, the families, led by Peter, fought the system. They presented evidence, and they were shut down again and again. In 1986, when another sister ship literally broke apart, it was undeniable proof of a problem. But still, no official action. So they decided to do what the authorities wouldn't. They were going to find that ship themselves. In 1994, using their own money and support from transport unions, the Derbyshire Family Association launched their own private deep-sea search. And then, in what has to be one of the most incredible moments of the story, they found it. And get this, it only took them 23 hours. After 14 years, the steel giant was lying in pieces on the ocean floor, and it was finally ready to tell its secrets. A massive, exhaustive forensic investigation of the wreck finally revealed the truth. It turns out it wasn't one big dramatic failure. No, it was a fatal chain reaction, a cascade of failures. It all started with something small, an improperly built hatch cover for a forward storage locker. It failed, letting water pour in. This caused the bow to sink lower in the water. And now, giant waves were crashing over the main deck, ripping off air vents and flooding the machinery spaces below. And then came the final blow. A monster wave just imploded one of the gigantic cargo hatches, leading to catastrophic flooding. The steel fortress sank in a matter of minutes. So, the ultimate cause? It wasn't some single fatal design flaw you could point to. It was a whole series of smaller failures, weak hatches, fragile vents, and structural weaknesses, all of it boiling down to negligence and cost-cutting when the ship was built. It was a death by 1,000 cuts, and every single one of them was preventable. So the families, they finally had their answers, and the names of the 42 crew members were completely cleared of any blame. But believe me, the story doesn't stop there. Not by a long shot. The impact of their incredible fight for justice would send ripples through the entire global shipping industry. Because what these families proved was that the problem wasn't just a flawed ship, it was a flawed system. A system that prioritized cutting costs over keeping people safe, and one that was way too quick to just write off tragedies as unavoidable acts of nature. 4 kilometers. Just think about that for a second. That's nearly 2.5 miles, straight down. That is the immense, silent depth where the Derry Drubber rests today. It's a powerful reminder of the sheer scale of the ocean and of the incredible persistence it took to finally uncover the secrets held in that darkness. In the end, the Derbyshire families didn't just find a lost ship. Their relentless quest for the truth literally forced a revolution in maritime safety. Because they refused to give up, new, much stricter rules for how ships are designed and built were put in place all over the world. They exposed a broken system, and by doing that, they have undoubtedly saved countless lives on the very same seas that claimed their loved ones. They changed an entire industry forever.
This was Echoes of Time. If you love powerful history stories, subscribe and continue the journey with us.